Hi, it's Eric Solbakken. The other day, my wife and I took our daughter to a place called Whole Foods for a quick lunch. It's a grocery store chain. If you haven't been there before, it's really cool. They've got like a cafeteria area where you can actually, get food and sit down and have a bite to eat, and then buy your groceries and then head off. But they've got these really neat tables where they're kind of community tables. So when you sit down, you're kind of forced to sit and talk with other people. So it's really a great way to meet people and kind of break out of your shell of wanting to hide in the corner and just, I want to eat my food. So, well, what happened is that just farther down the table, this fella sat down, and it was an accountant that my wife knew. And we had our own accounting practice in town and I was in public practice for over 26 years. So we know a lot of the accountants in town. And so she went over and she had a chat with him, and he was having a quick lunch with his girlfriend. And Erin, my wife Erin, came back and sat down at the table and said, "Oh yeah, it was a great chat." And she said, "Yeah, he's just having a quick lunch and then he's going to go back to work." And normally that would be, okay, that's normal. But this was Sunday in September. And I went, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? And it brought to mind to me the biggest lie that we've been told as accountants. It's the biggest lie, and it's gone on for centuries, and it continues to perpetuate itself and manifest itself in a whole bunch of horrible ways. And if I start ranting, please forgive me, because this really, really irks me. Is that the biggest lie is that we've been told that somehow our value is based on the amount of time we put in. In other words, how many hours we work. That's our value. And it's permeated from the beginning of when you first started articling. It's like, here's your blessed timesheet. Make sure you account for every 0.1 of an hour and write down everything that you're doing, because that is the lifeblood of the accounting firm. And that's how we charge our clients. But it's a lie. That's not the value that we have as accountants, and that's not the value that our clients get from us when we give them their services. And so I wanted to shoot this video and let you know the 3 things you should think about when you're going to bill your clients. If you're still doing the billable hour model, you want to think about this, okay? So number 1 is, the first thing you want to do is say to yourself, okay, have I had a proper talk? Have I communicated with the client properly to actually determine what the value is that this service that I'm providing them is going to give them? So let's have an open communication, talk about that, and really get to the bottom of what the value is. So then number 2 is, okay, now that what is the value that you agree on? Okay, number 2, what's the value that you agree on? And then number 3 is, have you properly captured that value in the price that you're going to charge your client in lieu of what they're getting? And so when you look at the billable hour model, you're like, oh, the value is based on how many hours I put in, which is total crap, because that's not what your clients care about. They don't care about that. They care about the value they're going to receive, and you're not going to know what the value is until you actually communicate it with them and you have an open dialogue. And this is one of the things that I teach in the Accountant Success Formula, is that communication with your client at the front end is so critical, because you may think the value is here, but once you have a conversation with the client, they start telling you some of their other pain points, and you realize, no, when I do this, the value is here. And so therefore, you can get your price from here to here. And you have that communication with them at the front end, as opposed to the back end, giving them the bill, and then they have a big Hemi and they don't want to pay, and blah, blah, blah. And again, I could go on for hours about this. And I'm pretty sure I will, because that's my goal, is to ensure that accountants realize that the business model they're using is no longer working for them. It needs to be updated. And clearly, our friend there going back to work on a Sunday in September, like, this isn't even tax season, that just shows you exactly how this lie is affecting not just his business, but it's affecting his personal life. Sunday, having a quick lunch with his girlfriend, and then heading back to work. It's really sad, and I don't want to see that happening anymore to accountants. So I'm Eric Solbakken. Wherever you're watching this, scroll down, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you, and stay tuned for more success tips to come.